about my sweat equity?
You're not ready?
Sweat equity. Sweat equity. My sweat equity.
For real?
My sweat equity.
We're not stopping.
Oh, we're just gonna go?
Once I heard the music, I can't stop.
That's okay.
What about my sweat equity?
Just putting my phone on airplane mode like a gentleman.
Oh, mine was already on airplane mode,
Oh.
and it's in front of me.
You think you're special? Well, I think you're special.
I think I'm pretty special, too.
Yeah, we both think you're special.
I got it.
And you know what? That deserves a hottie toddy. God Almighty, it's Sweat Equity Podcast. Behind the glass, John Paul producing the show, directing.
The ass behind the glass.
Our remote producer,
Who
Joseph.
doesn't know how to talk into a mic.
Thanks, guys.
It's like we're talking
Yells
to someone
into it
on the
from-
moon or in the space station.
I know. Mars, it takes 3 years.
It's literally like you're, 11 feet away from where we're sitting?
Not even.
For me.
I got a delay.
I know, but it's just funny that
Still talking to the mic, you idiot. What are you doing? You know there's one sitting next to you. He's not. Oh.
now he's just fucking with you.
Yeah, I know. Goes right to me.
I can hear him.
That ugly angle.
He can,
We're
Yeah,
not going to go to that one.
if you're watching on video, we've got one Mevo camera down, so
Don't you miss the Mevo pain in the ass that we dodged for so long, man?
no, I mean,
Good
look,
coming back to it.
the Mevo giveth and taketh away. It's a blessing and a curse.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but it is that thing of, they're finicky for a $500 camera that auto directs for you. I mean, that fucking company should be paying us as much as we talked about it, even with the bad stuff.
Well, yeah, but now we got our own director. They upsell all these other things. They're like, oh, well, it doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, well, so we have 3 going into an iMac, and
Oh, real
God
professional.
damn
You
it.
fucking God.
we're fired.
Turn your mic off. Just off altogether.
Hello?
I
Hello?
want to apologize to everybody.
That was a Chinese massage parlor asking for their bill to be paid.
Like,
I'm pretty sure.
he's literally answering the phone.
Have you ever gone to a Japanese spa?
And then he talks into the microphone when it's not on.
Oh my god, this is a sloppy
Fuck
show.
you guys. What? Just leave me out of it. I told you guys it's hard to do all of this at once and talk.
And answer your phone? You're not supposed to
So-
answer your phone.
I know. I meant.
Pay your bills for your massages.
Bye.
Great. We are off to a blazing start.
Well, look,
Really good stuff here.
look, we're figuring it out. We're doing this on a shoestring budget. I mean, if everybody wants to know why, there's some technical issues if they listen to a bunch of shows. We're trying to do it as cost effective as possible, and we're learning as we go. But I really think about it. It's interesting by doing this as a hobby of sorts, this podcast or streaming show, whatever we call it, this thing, Sweat Equity. By doing it, we've gained a lot of knowledge that I see podcasting going this way of using video.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, not everybody does it,
I know.
and then
You know why?
they don't
So
do it well too.
They do it so they can chop it up. So that they can get rid of the
Oh.
and the pauses and everything.
I found an automated system that does that for you too.
I don't want that.
I think that was through Jordan Harbinger of the Jordan Harbinger podcast. He used
Yeah.
to do Art of Being a Man or something like that.
It's so fake and phony, though. Podcasts are supposed to be real.
Well, it is, the market will demand it, right?
Yeah,
I'm a free market guy. I believe that it will. If they're supposed to be authentic, they will be there. But there's going to be a laggard audience that eventually gets to. Wow, that's
Are
on
you
me.
guys out of your...
Someone's calling our business line, and I had the app open on our desktop.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a phone call real quick, guys.
Here. You only have a pager, so
I'm going to do it right here.
I don't know who you're
just
who
gonna
you're
talk over
faking
you.
out. So, one thing on Harbinger said I heard recently is you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most.
Yeah, I believe it. We've
So-
talked about that.
Yeah, and I think entrepreneurialism, entrepreneurism.
This is a shit show, huh?
What?
Just us
Did I
today.
say that wrong?
We got a lot going on.
Is that wrong? Did I
Yeah.
do that wrong?
Anyways.
So, not only that, the 5 people, it's hard to be motivated when you're by yourself. I've talked a lot about doing your own business, doing your own thing, your own brand, whatever you want to call it. It's isolating, no matter what. Doesn't matter if you have a whole team.
Yeah.
You're still at some point, even if you have 50-50 partnership or like you're splitting it, it's a CBD oil co-op.
Yeah.
Between you and your favorite hippie friends.
Yeah.
Of 10 people, right? And
Yeah.
everybody shares the same amount of duties and gets the same revenue split. But at the end of the day, you're still doing your own specialty within that on your own.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's just funny how that works because there's a lot of not knowing, and that scares a lot of people.
yeah.
It's terrifying.
A
That's
lot
what
of
parenting is.
Yeah, a lot of the loneliness also kind of messes with deadlines and stuff like that, where it's like, I should say, not the loneliness, the
I call it-
isolation.
I'm trying not to say like, lonely or
Right.
or
I meant it the
depressing.
same way.
I used to say depressing. And
Yeah.
that's not right.
And it's not really, it's isolation is
Yeah.
really what we should be calling it. That just, when it comes to like self-motivation and stuff, the deadline side of things, it's like, how do you handle those deadlines within yourself? I mean, you're going to have business clients that have things that need to get done by a certain time, but even when that's the deal, it's like, man,
I think
there's
about
nobody
like,
over your shoulder sometimes. It could be hard.
I think about catering companies like who do we have in here?
Kevin Lacoste.
Yeah, I mean, I
Good
think
food.
about that kind of like that is a stressful kind of industry to me.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't handle that. That is not my mode. I
know.
don't give a fuck about food. So like,
A lot of those guys, though, their passion is the cooking. And then they get in the kitchen. It's like old times again.
I know, but wouldn't that make you hate food? Like just not care as much?
Well, I mean, that's one of those things you're
like the
going to have
guy's
to
like,
eat the
why
rest
don't-
of your life.
Why don't you become a gynecologist?
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm so sick of pussy.
Yeah, right.
That might happen. But
Yeah.
the food,
Because you see a lot of nasty cats out there.
well, the food is, you got to have food. I mean, you're not going to get worn out on food.
It's true. So that brings it back to you hang out with a bunch of people that aren't motivated to do any, that eat like shit all the time.
Mhm.
The worst is actually probably not, is probably the person that eats like crap all the time and gets away with it.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's probably the worst influence around you. I just think it's funny that these things that are around you, your environment does matter. Like I think like digital, especially if you work from home, that's fine. You can work from home, but like at the same time, it is one of those things where you're probably going to lose some social skills or
Sure.
just general like get up and go, some
Yeah.
grit, some gumption.
Well, people think of this, like the digital space, as just being all online. It's like, no, there's a whole real life realm of these people getting together. We were talking about a little mixer that we might go to a little bit later.
The what?
The little mixer.
Oh,
Like,
the
those things
digital
exist.
mixer,
Like
yeah.
they still happen. Like
Well,
those-
that exists
people are out there.
because our industry of digital doesn't meet in person, and so there's a need for it, right? It's like
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like there's recognition. You don't have that when you're digital, really. Like it's like kind of we still don't know how to communicate. We talked about this a lot. Like I don't think we're that good at communicating, no matter what. Like I think
Humans
video
in general, or you and I.
both. No, I think humans in general, but I also think in the business world especially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot. I think because it's like a lot of emails and stuff like that, and that's where even a face-to-face video call can really iron out some of the intricacies of what you're trying to say, sort of thing.
I think the way we're using video in a different mode for at least someone our size, we're using video in a very unique way, not only to get our message out. I mean, this is partly marketing, but partly its own deal as a show. But at the same time, I'm going to record a bunch of just update videos for clients and just go, here's what's going on.
Sure.
Eventually, I want to get like a teleprompter so I can just pop in here Monday morning and just rock through those.
Would it defeat the purpose
Huh?
of being able to just jump in front of the camera and spout off what's going on, rather than if you're
I
going
mean,
to
I
type
wa-
it, just email it to them?
Well, we'd have it set up. I want to get a Raspberry Pi and set up that mirror I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
This is real dad pie in the sky DIY stuff.
Yeah, I've seen those on Reddit where it's like, turn your mirror into a TV.
This is exactly what I want to do. I want to turn it into a real life dashboard,
Oh,
but only for a parlor trick of having that. I
Yeah.
don't want to do much more after that.
what if we turn this glass window into something?
Then we couldn't see John Paul in the dry rub.
So what if we turn this glass window into something?
We could. I do want to try to use that maybe as a pull down for a green screen if we did teaching in here.
Oh.
Or do a pull down for a projection screen or something. I don't know. But I want to use all. I want to be like IKEA about this office and studio.
I know.
Yeah.
Everything's got to serve a purpose.
Yeah. Well, does it spark joy in you?
Yeah, we had that discussion. Was that on air or was
Yeah.
that on the off-air podcast?
That was on air with Kelly Jenkins of Simplicity SOS.
Organizing.
Yeah, something like. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good job.
That wasn't the.
Good pull.
That wasn't the conversation we had though. Was the one I'm talking about is about how go back to the food. Food doesn't always spark you joy, but you gotta have food. There's things. Medicine, does medicine spark joy?
No, nothing sparks joy
Right.
in me. So like, I'd be naked just sitting by myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the
Like even
point
my
is
dog
that,
I
like,
love, but Bojax, he's he's a pain in the ass.
It's a lot of work. Huh?
He wants to touch me while he sleeps.
Well, the point of the conversation was that that whole Joy. What's her name? Joy Kondo.
no, her name's not Joy.
Joy
It's Marie
Co-
Kondo
Marie.
with a K.
Jo Koy Kondo. Got
No,
it.
Joe Coy. Joy.
That's
Jo
a deep.
Koy.
That's a deep
Yeah, wow.
meta joke.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Yeah,
Different
the point
Asian.
is that they don't. Then you say it and it ruins the joke.
Mhm. Mhm. I
Yeah.
just slipped it in there. You didn't even have to bring it up.
Not everything has to spark joy, people.
So I think
That's the point.
atmosphere is important in that sparking joy stuff that millennials, technically we're millennials, but I say it as a pejorative towards everybody that is in our generation.
Mm-hmm.
Same with creative. I think that's a pejorative to me. I know people say it as a nice thing. I don't think it's.
I
hear it flake.
yeah. Oh, I hear somebody who's broke.
That too. I mean, they're one and the same.
He's creative.
Yeah. Instead of like diligent.
Yeah. He's a hard worker.
He is
His
analytical.
Yeah.
So my thing is like the atmosphere around you. If you have a bunch of shit around you, I know it gives me kind of a weirdness here to not have a system, right? And we're finding it out over time. We can't spend a whole week working on that. You know, like we just have to chip away at it and drive ourselves a little nutty.
Right.
But if you do it in one fell swoop, it's like I don't really have a whole day to give. We cleaned up on Sunday here.
Yeah.
Right? And I knew it was important to do over other things. What's urgent? What's important?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had this giant table in the other room. Can't really operate with it that way.
Good work on doing that solo.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty strong. I just picked it up, lifted it over my head, put it in there.
So I posted something yesterday. My friend is Psycho Bar teacher, and so
Psycho Bar.
Psycho Bar, that'd be good. Just play Rob Zombie music on a,
Now we're talking.
on a motorbike.
Stop the
stationary
cameras.
Motorbike. Vroom.
File the LLC.
So it's get the S corp with the accountant. Do we have business insurance up to $1 million in policy? We just keep going down the rack sheet.
Yeah.
You have a business line with trygrasshopper.com/sweat.
I like how you took that good idea and then made it all shitty.
Mm-hmm. So my thing is, I think about gratitude a lot lately as I get my mind right. And my friend had a class, and I was like, all right, you know about this. You should go to this. You need to work out every day. That's mandatory for me now. Like, I just have to.
It's Cycle Bar. Like
Yeah.
like a bicycle.
Yeah. It's like
Bicycle.
intense spin class. You know, it's dark. There's like tracking with not your heart rate. I don't think you have that kind of tracking like
Your
Orange
RPMs.
Theory. But it gives my RPMs. It gives you a power score. You have to like use their shoes and stuff.
God.
Yeah, the click-in ones, and then my right one flopped out about 15 minutes in.
Killed your power score, bro.
No, I just kept my heel on the back, which is probably really bad for me.
Yeah. That
And then I was telling you before we were doing the podcast, but and then I didn't know my power score was related to the resistance part, so I had to try extra hard because I wrote a filthy name.
Yeah, and you're injured now.
No, I'm just sore. I'm tired. I'm just like it's really hard actually.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. What do you think spin class? You're like,
No, I know it is. Like but for me, those things are weird because it's just one muscle, pretty much.
it's the music I can't deal with
Oh,
really
really?
over everything.
What'd
It
they
feels
do?
like I'm stealing a car. It's all the same. I mean, it's all High tempo. Even though they'll pull a low tempo song and then put like a high tempo background in it, and you're like, come on, Michael McDonald doesn't need to be fucking EDM Skrillex mix. It's like,
But that goes back to the motivation thing. It's like people need all of these things. It needs to be dark so nobody can see you. Okay, that's one thing to not worry
There's
about.
part of that I think makes you as an audience, because it's set up like a little audience of bikes essentially.
Oh, really? Like an auditorium
there's
style?
three levels, so you can see the teacher.
Yeah.
And so part of that, you're right.
Keep doing your legs like that.
You're right about the darkness, because you're looking at the teacher who's got a spotlight on, but you have this connection with. Presumably, I think it's supposed to create a connection because it feels like you're only there. The way they have it spaced out.
What are they teaching you? How to ride a bike?
Oh no, they just want to keep you in the zone and all that stuff. It's like
Don't listen to my voice. Stay in the zone.
Well, yeah. Well, I was like, do you want me to punch this up for you? Because I got some jokes. I had to think of something else.
Write her some material. Listen.
I was so miserable because I was like, oh man, I haven't done cardio this last week. I've been sick. And like, this is gonna be rough.
So you had to
I got
criticize
dizzy
her lines?
20 minutes in. Well, I was like, or maybe 25 minutes. I was like, oh no, man, I could barf pretty bad here. But here's the reason I'm telling this is because she supported me with stand up when when I was still really young in the game. And
She she wanted to barf while she was there.
Right, exactly.
Same thing.
And she gave me notes. You should have talked about Chris Brown or something. That I like him.
Oh God.
Something like that. But I'm saying like, you got to support the friends that support you or the community around you, and I think that's important when you do your own startup.
Sure.
This is all coming to a real point. All this meandering all kind of came to this kind of pragmatic point.
Way to build it up.
Well, it's weird. It's not that hard to be proactive. I think I'm pretty good at it. I don't really sit down and find a time to go in my calendar and go, how can I, go support friends or whatever.
Sure.
But here's something I did. Played shuffleboard the other night, and the guy was really nice. It was a new place in the hipster part of town over here, and I was like, I like that guy. I'm gonna go give him a 5-star review.
Yeah.
On not just Yelp. I'm gonna do it on a bunch of them.
Oh.
I try to find everyone.
Nice of you.
But how long does that really take though? Some people are like, "Whoa, you really did that?" And you're like, "It took 3 minutes,
Yeah.
5 minutes."
You also live in that world.
I know,
Where
and
it's
I'm
easy
very,
for you, right where to go.
I'm very aware of it, but I don't think that's an excuse either.
No.
So
at the same time,
here's
it is
what
very
I do.
easy.
Here's something super easy. Your friend throws you that Facebook page. Hey, I started a new business. I started a new brand. I immediately, once I like it, I go to their page and just 5-star it. It's not that hard.
Do everything.
Or recommend it now, I guess, is Facebook.
Google, Yelp, do all of them. Just, there's a small checklist. It's not that many. You got Facebook, Google, Yelp. What else?
And then if it's like a closer friend, I'll hit them up and be like, hey, I saw that you started this. Please let me know if I can help.
Please listen to our podcast. It's about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, ask me a question. I won't answer it in email, and then I'll do it on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's fodder.
Yeah.
That's how I roll now.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, that thing of community, we talk about it when we bring clients in here. I mentioned it last night when we do a client update meeting, and I was like, I don't want you to worry about corporate social responsibility yet, CSR.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a podcast episode about it. Picking a charity, a lot of people, they spread themselves thin, trying to hook up 40 charities with $10.
Yeah.
And it's way better to help a smaller charity with $400.
Right. Yeah.
Know? And so, and something that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense that's adjacent to the business, then why do it?
Yeah.
We donate time once a quarter to usually a project. That's how it kind of trickles out. But they're usually personal to us or to the company. But it's one of those things, at least we get something out of it, like what I was talking about with the cameras. Next event, the Tampa Pig Jig we do to support NephCure Kidney International. It's a big country concert barbecue festival, but what do we get out of it? There's a social contract. You should never discount, or you should never do stuff for free without getting something back. Yeah. Right?
I get to go to the pig jig.
You get to go backstage and all that stuff. We have all access pass. That's fun. That's like a little
walk around like I'm cool.
Because our stuff's done before the event starts, so
yeah, I'm not really on call.
Yeah, I used to be when you had to do it. Because they were like, "You're good with the computers. Can you help with the ticket fly?" And I'm like, Dude, Ticketfly's like, that's a beast.
I mean,
and I figured it out to help him, but I was like,
I would have just been like, I'm already drunk.
it's
Too
like
late.
12.
Even if
It's noon.
I would have said it anyways.
Anyway, what next year we're going to live stream it using these Mevo cameras. And we're going to
Sure,
create
it'll work.
ad,
It'll
we're
go
going
off without a hitch.
we're going to create new ad space because the Mevo cameras, if you have Vimeo Premium,
Mm-hmm.
you can have ads on the screen,
Yeah.
on like baked in, not just floating over like YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Where you use someone's copywritten music and they're like, "What's up?"
Yeah, no, they're in the video themselves.
Now that Kenny Loggins album, that's gonna get a play. That's gonna get.
You're in the danger zone now, sir.
It's gonna get a little impression.
Big trouble.
I also told the shuffleboard guy, I was like, "You have to do a yacht rock night. You've got a competitor down the street I know does Wu-Tang brunch.
What's
Another-
yacht rock?
Yacht rock's Michael McDonald. I think
Never heard
Steve
that.
Winwood.
Okay.
It's all what you think guys on a yacht would listen to and like love it.
Phil Collins.
Yeah, he might be a little too. Maybe Billy Joel's probably in there. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. I think it's got to be a little
80s
corny, but they
cocaine.
actually like it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, singing about 80s, the cocaine in the 80s was like, you're cool, but your music's still kind of.
It's corny,
You're still
and then
playing a guitar.
it goes so corny that it comes back around. You kind of like it.
Oh yeah, I'm there.
That's Michael McDonald in a nutshell to me.
Yeah, he's okay.
What?
Summer hill.
We can't even play music, right?
No, well, I mean we can, but
We'll get kicked. We'll get muted on Facebook.
it's just not worth it.
Well, I think we got to split the audio or something. We got to figure that out.
What? So the people that listening can't hear it?
No, the people that are listening on audio on like the podcast apps and stuff.
It is weird that they don't have that for podcasts. Really, you don't really get hit up on. It's only video stuff for copyright
Because
infringement.
our video is considered like monetized thing, right? So, so like video from the get go was already trying to like when YouTube started, they were like, how do we make money with this?
Sure.
Podcasting is Wild West. There's like I think someone said 200,000 podcasts out there. It's a low barrier to entry.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
it's like you can literally do it with your phone.
Yeah, I mean, I've helped numerous people with it just getting going, so, and I know you have too.
I want to look up the stats on that. I'm curious.
Why? You feel like being depressed today?
Why? No. Well, if they're here, it's like Shawshank. At the end of Shawshank, if you made it here, why don't you come a little bit further? I
If
mean,
you made it here,
Right.
why not come a little bit
you know that
further?
oak tree in Buxom
No,
that
yes.
looks like it's unlike any other? There's a
Uh-huh.
stone wall that leads up to it.
Sure.
Underneath that tree, that's where I married my wife.
Mm-hmm.
We made love.
Not
That's-
true. I
that's-
was at your wedding.
No, in Maine. This is Shawshank.
Oh, we're still in Shawshank.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
But he reads the letter. It's like he's about to kill himself, like Brooks probably.
Why don't you just start the movie from the beginning? Let's really
Okay, so
flush this out.
He's in the woods in a Studebaker.
Okay. Anyways,
What?
completely derailed you. You were looking up how many podcasts there are in real life.
I am. I'm trying to see the time.
We're good. We're good.
So the one interesting thing about the average of the 5 people around you thing is the 5 people around them matters to you.
Infect you.
They do actually. So if you hung out with nothing but crackheads outside of this office,
Yeah.
it would affect my life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, see,
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. I only
That's
hang out with
fucked up.
one crackhead, so it's like 20%,
Is he over there?
and then it's he looks like a real crackhead.
Oh, you really do have a crackhead friend.
No.
Oh,
Or do I?
I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Drama.
I don't know everything.
No. That's a little bit of an indictment on my friends. You know?
Maybe it's hard
that
times,
you believe
man.
it. That you believe it.
Like I
Wait a second.
comedians are like the most fucked up, so I don't assume anything.
No, no crackhead friends.
Okay.
Looking to fill that slot.
Oh, is
Probably
that-
on the drive
oh,
home.
is this going to be a contest?
Yeah,
Sweat equity contest, crackhead slot.
crackheads only.
Be Eric's BFF.
And I'll know, too,
Yeah.
if you're a crackhead or not. I'll know.
Yeah, how you hold the pipe. It's like someone that pretends to smoke a cigarette.
Yes.
You're like, you don't
Yeah.
do it you don't do it in your ring finger.
Like Harvey Keitel in all his movies. You can always, you'll see it anytime. I think he does it in Reservoir Dogs. He just fills his mouth up. It's like, it's like so obvious once you see it.
I will watch for that.
It's weird.
So the other thing is like that the community around you matters. When we started Tocobaga, it's kind of the thing of like, I knew this would be important because I don't know. I think it's better to give than receive, or whatever you want to say. Like the more you put out, the more you put out.
I know.
The more you put that Johnson out there,
you get things back tenfold or 100-fold or whatever you put out that's positive.
I don't know,
or negative.
You tell me your experience. My experience is I'm a faith by service kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Not talking like spiritual, just kind of generally my thing is I like to help people if I can, if I have some way to do it.
Sure.
I've always kind of been that way. I'm not kind of like a super thoughtful, like gift giving kind of, way.
Yeah, me too. I think we're similar in that sort of thing. Like, we're not going to let somebody try and carry a refrigerator up the stairs without help, sort of thing.
I see. That's a good indication. Are you going to get anything back from that? No. If anything, that's a pretty dangerous risk right there.
Yeah. I think don't do it.
Because if there's a guy trying to move a fridge by himself, chances are it's a shitty fridge.
Yeah.
It's not like a Viking thin like waif.
And I also kind of want to see if you can do it.
Yeah. There's that too. But
if he's like jacked, then let him do it. Let him give it a shot.
It's this. But I think about this too. If you smile at people throughout the day, you're more likely to be. The happiness index is like way higher.
Yeah, for sure. Because they'll smile back, get a little bit of their ray of sunshine, sort of thing.
But isn't that crazy? But people think they don't need to make the first move.
Yeah.
Right? Or like, that's wasted time to go help that guy with the fridge.
Right.
In this scenario.
And then your life.
What's he going to do?
Yeah.
You don't even live in this city.
Yeah, you'll never see that guy again. But then it's like your shitty life keeps being shitty.
Right.
And you haven't changed anything. You're not helping that guy with the fridge. And you can't figure out why you're depressed.
Sounds like an inner monologue.
It starts right there.
But I'm saying, like,
I'm fine with who I am, sir.
Going out of your way to do it it does pay back, and I don't know. I don't believe in I don't know. Karma's not really. I know karma is kind of shorthand.
That's what it is. That's pretty much what it is.
Is it?
I mean, I see it all the time. I have to remind myself of it. It's when I stop seeing it work.
With your hobo packs?
Sure.
You want to tell the audience what that is?
Oh, well, so my daughter and son are getting a little bit older. They ask a lot of questions when we're driving, and there's a lot of homeless people, especially on our drive down here.
Yeah. We're in the Bourbon Street of Tampa.
And
to those outside the area.
And it's weird for me to give money, sort of thing, cash, like straight out the wallet, sort of, So I just bought a bunch of MREs, the meals ready to eat. They're used for the military or whatever. You can buy them online. I invested
in astronauts like John Paul.
Sure. I just bought in bulk deodorant, combs, socks, Band-Aids, anything that somebody who's possibly living outside might really get psyched about. And I've been doing it for a while now, so it's just like a Saturday, just spend time doing a little.
Have you still been doing it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you. I know we talked about it a long time ago, but I didn't know that was still a thing you were doing.
Yeah. I mean, think of it this way. It changes, like, for a lot of people, that moment getting off the interstate and pulling up there, it's like the most awkward moment, like uncomfortable thing. Somebody walking by your car, they make eye contact with you. It changes that into the best thing that happens to you that day, because I haven't had one person be like, "What, man?" Like,
and even if you if you didn't believe in it, your kids are seeing that.
Exactly.
Like, even if you're like, "I fucking hate doing this," but
yeah, exactly.
But at least they're sponging up,
right?
Just like the 5 average thing. Like,
yeah,
they're sponging up everything you're doing, right? Yeah. So if you're like, yeah, my dad, like, they'll be older and they'll remember that part.
Yeah. I mean, it's
because it's so unusual of an event.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like,
shouldn't be, but
you don't get a lot of the opportunities to help somebody carry a fridge up the stairs, or push somebody's car out of that.
It's true.
Sort of those opportunities, like, don't always come up. Like, even though you as a human soul person might need to be doing these things to make yourself feel better, you might not have access to it, but this right here is built in.
I believe that's called psychological egoism.
Sounds official.
I don't know why I remember that term, but I remember feeling like I was a fraud because I'd volunteer or an imposter or any of that.
And you felt good about it?
Well, I do it for me first, almost, and still kind of do. I do now. I'd probably admit that.
Yeah.
No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that what you're doing is bad.
Oh, no.
As long as they benefit.
Yeah.
But
first of all, there's no way around that.
Right.
Like,
I'm aware. I'm self-aware that this makes me feel good, or I talk about it a lot, where I say, I'll say stuff on stage. I'll try to say some nice things in person now to even out the shitty things I say on stage.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
or here.
Yeah. It's you should try it out. It doesn't have to be.
I sent thank you letters.
Yeah, that's good. I mean,
handwritten, baby.
The selfishness thing, though, like, no matter what, you're gonna do it because you want to feel better. Like, there's no way around that, because very rarely are you forced into charity. That's like not gonna be family members that need it. It's like most of the time you have to do it on your own.
So psychological egoism is the thesis that we are always deep down motivated by what we perceive to be our own self-interest.
Sure, yes.
Psychological altruism, on the other hand, is the view that sometimes we can ultimately altruistic, or we can have ultimately altruistic motives.
If you really want to get crazy,
I guess that's absolutism.
If you think about us all being connected, all that sort of thing, if you got to start with your own mind getting right. For me, maybe my mind being right is important for those around me, sort of thing. The 5 people I'm with the most can infect them, even though it's altruistic in a way. It's all weird.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to that average of the 5 people thing. I don't. Look, my knee-jerk reaction is no, right?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of abandons your childhood, your upbringing, like your past.
Well,
to a degree.
Yeah, it's that thing of like, but I also seek out a lot of different people, a lot more than that, I'd say, on a weekly, daily basis, probably. Number of podcast listeners in the United States from what they're forecasting from 2014 to 2020.
You really can't read.
2022. I can't. No, not today. I'm so beat. What do you think it's going to be?
Are you saying podcast listeners or number of podcasts?
I just want to hear listeners first.
Listeners, 8.6 million.
Just a bit outside at 132 million. And then most
worldwide?
Mostly that's chicks listening to serial killer podcasts. I think now. Do you get frustrated like I do?
I told you every time I walk.
Do you guys listen to podcasts, or like we've been doing one for like a couple of years? It's called Sweat Equity.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, cool.
Do you know of any good podcasts?"
I like Sword and Scale, and you're like,
yeah,
thanks."
No, everything my wife listens to. Every time I walk in the room, and then they move the vial of blood from this thing to that thing.
We have to go back.
The husband would never know.
We have to go back to our guerrilla style of grabbing people's phones and just subscribing 5-star rate and review. See how I slipped that in there at the end?
Yeah, that's the real way.
If you really want reviews, that's how you got to do it.
Organic growth.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you got to do it as a local business. Guerrilla, G-U, not G-O. And you got to just get it done, man. That's it. That's the podcast.
Just get it done, guys.
Feel good about it? John Paul, you feeling good, buddy?
He's over there mouthing.
We'll see you next episode to reply.
Okay. All right.
Feel great.
All right. Nice nap you got in.
That was like, sit, Ubu, sit.
SweatEquityPod.com. What else we got to plug?
We've got Roku. We're on Roku.
Yeah, you do. I got to update that bitch. Roku only has the last 10 episodes.
Okay. You know where to find us. Ask questions. Hit us up on social media. All that goodness.
All that goodness.
What about my sweat equity?